Would you like to know how to optimize your YouTube channel for SEO? We're going to be talking about how to optimize your titles. We're going to be talking about how to optimize your keywords. We're going to be talking actually about what are the best keywords to use. We're going to be talking about tags. We're going to be talking about the YouTube description. We're going to be talking about thumbnails as it relates to SEO, and even sharing videos to other platforms if that's something that you should be doing. Let's dive right in. Many people consider me to be the world's authority on YouTube SEO. I produce over 50 different YouTube channels that all rank and actually have hundreds of videos each that rank at the top of YouTube, and they're lead generators for their businesses. So that's why I'm making this video. I want to show you how to do the same. How can I optimize my video titles for SEO? This is a very important place to start and to understand, because your title is really critical. When you do keyword research, a lot of times people are going to recommend that you search for a 2-word phrase or a 3-word phrase that has massive search volume. But if you do that, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get great results, right? So talking about your title, if you just find a phrase like that and insert it in your title, that's not going to work. The biggest piece of advice that I could share is when you do keyword research, if you find really long questions. And I'm not just talking about long tail, because in long tail, people are saying like 4 words, 5 words long. But when you do keyword research looking for questions, it's very common to find 8-word or 9-word or 10-word questions. And that sounds crazy, but you'll see that they still have consistent search volume every month. That's actually the gold, because just by finding these questions, that becomes the title of your video. That goes a long way to getting your video ranked at the top of YouTube. What are the best keywords for my niche or my niche? So we've talked about how you can search and find these questions. Well, when you do this, what you'll see is a group of questions that are similar right here, and you'll see another group of questions that are similar right here. And when you compare the two, you actually know a lot about who these people are. You know their demographics, or you know their line of work, or their experience level, just by looking at the questions when they're grouped together in a similar way. So what you want to do is compare them and think about, okay, who are these people? Which one is my target audience? And which group of people or group of questions here shows that people are interested in learning about my services or my programs? Taking the time to do research like this in the beginning makes a world of difference in the quality of leads that you generate and the effectiveness of your SEO. What are the most important tags to use? YouTube has admitted that the tag field on YouTube doesn't count for very much anymore. Maybe in the very beginning when you first launch a video, we're going to talk a little bit more about your transcription and the role that that plays in SEO way more than the tags. But it's important to use the tag field correctly, because it can actually backfire on you if you use it the wrong way. If you put tags in there that you want to rank for, but actually aren't really relevant to your content, like if you put somebody's name in there, but you don't even mention that person's name in your video, that's going to backfire and hurt you. If you go back a decade or so, that's what people did to get videos ranked at the top, but YouTube figured that out and they closed that down really quick. So when you do the keyword research and you find that question becomes the title of your video. And then yes, that question, even if it's 8 words long, that also becomes a tag. So if you type in that tag and then hit a comma or hit return, it then saves that whole phrase as one tag. Now, if you did the keyword research right and you found a group, or I call it a branch because I use my tree analogy, but if you find a branch and this question, this title is on a branch, what are the words unique to that branch? You can also take those 2 or 3 or 4 words and put that as a tag. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about with my tree analogy or my leaf strategy or anything like that, I'll link to another video up here where I teach YouTube SEO, the leaf strategy. It's a key video that you'd want to watch if you haven't yet. How can I make my video descriptions more effective? Okay, so this applies both for SEO and for the results that your video gets for you in generating leads. Now, the number of characters seems to change quite regularly. Right now, if you type in 3 lines in your YouTube description and without hitting return to go to the 4th line, but still while you're on the 3rd line, if you put a URL in there, let's say you're linking to another YouTube video, or you're linking to a landing page, if you have all your text and that link within the first 3 lines, then when somebody is viewing the video on their laptop or on a mobile device and they go to view the description, without having to click more, they'll see that text and they'll see that link. If you ever hit return, even if you've only got 1 line of text and then you hit return, it puts it down below the fold, and people will have to click more to be able to see that. You want to have one main call to action on each YouTube video. And so that one main call to action, that's the link that we're talking about. If you're linking from one video to another, then it's a great practice to make sure that they can get to that second video as easy as possible. You can link to that in cards, you can link to that in the end screen, but you can also link to it in your description and have that link appear above the fold. How important are YouTube thumbnails for SEO? So having custom designed thumbnails are critical for the performance of your video, but they don't have any impact on SEO. Now, I guess they can have an indirect impact because a thumbnail will create curiosity and make more people want to click on it. So if people are doing a search and then they see your video ranked at the top, if you have a good thumbnail, you're going to have a higher click-through rate. But ultimately, what's going to determine if that video continues to show up in search is if people like what they found. If that search resulted in content that they watched all the way to the end, then YouTube will continue to show that video in those search results. So I would call thumbnails a very important piece of YouTube's strategy, but I don't know if it's technically part of SEO. Does sharing my videos on other platforms help with SEO? Yes and no. I mean, yes, because any authority that you build elsewhere that points to your YouTube video is going to help, but it's going to hurt all those other places. So for example, let's say you're on Facebook and you post a link for people to click on and leave Facebook and go to YouTube. Facebook is not going to like that. YouTube doesn't like it when you send people to Facebook either. So if you really don't care about your Facebook account, then go ahead and do that. Understand that that post will be ghosted. It won't get very many clicks. And then the posts that you make in the future on Facebook are going to be seen by less people. The best thing that you can do to optimize your channel for SEO is to really optimize your content. And the best way that you can optimize your content is make content that people are searching for. I mean, that seems obvious, but that should be the main goal. You should consider that as the priority with any decision you're going to make. That way, when the algorithm changes or YouTube improves the search engine, it's going to get better at recommending your content because it wants to show people what they're searching for, and you're creating content that people are searching for. I would love for you to learn my 5-ingredient formula, okay, for YouTube SEO. It's called the Leaf Strategy. If you really want to know how to leverage YouTube, in fact, dominate YouTube and have hundreds of videos ranking at the top, then go watch that video now. I'll link to it right here on the screen. It's called YouTube SEO, the Leaf Strategy.